Hi, friends. Good morning. Well, morning for me. Maybe it's not morning for you. I'm looking forward to sharing this with you because I think this is a foundational piece of really rewiring your nervous system, retraining your brain, recalibrating your energy for the results you want, for the success, the joy, the wealth that you desire, both in your life and in your business. So, what if I told you that it doesn't have to be so hard? What if I told you that ease and happiness is actually the key, the pathway, the foundation to success? If I had a motto for today's mini training, essentially, it would be that sacrifice always leads to sabotage and that happiness leads to more success. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. In my work with clients, I do a ton around training your brain for success, upgrading your energy so you can take kind of consistent action, get out of freeze, be in alignment and motion, and of course, recalibrating the nervous system to be a match, to be in resonance, to be primed for the results that you want so that you are not continuing and continuously doubting yourself, sabotaging yourself, procrastinating, getting confused, freezing, getting overwhelmed, that kind of stuff. What most people don't understand is that to achieve success with ease, you actually have to focus on the quality of your receiving, the quality of the experience that you're like having in the process of achieving, creating, and receiving the results you want. And you want to do that rather than focusing on the quantity that you want at the end, the quantity of your receiving. And that's something that most of us don't get. Like for us, we create goals and it's always about the final outcome, how much money we want to make, how many clients we want to bring in, some kind of opportunity we want to create, whether it's a visibility opportunity or something like that. But from the perspective of your nervous system, excuse me, the more joy, the more satisfaction, the more simplicity you can experience in your business, in your life, in the process of creating these goals, of achieving these goals, the more safe receiving becomes. The more safe it becomes for you to actually get to the end point. The more safe, the more easeful it becomes to hold the results you desire. So the degree of safety that you feel around receiving in the process of creating is directly related to your capacity to allow in and hold bigger and better results. So part of what we're going to talk about today is kind of how to increase the quality of your achieving, of your receiving experience so that you can really increase the quantity that you are able to bring in and that you allow yourself to hold. When we're too focused on the end results, we forget that having a good time, enjoying the process, loving what we do, having freedom, ease, and peace in our business, in our life is actually the most fundamental part of success. Like anything you want to achieve is because you want to have joy and freedom and ease in your life. Like the money, the relationships, the clients, the visibility, all of it is actually to create more freedom in your life, more ease, more sense of accomplishments, more peace, more joy. And so we want to make sure that that is part of the journey. All of those things are part of what makes our business sustainable long term. The degree of calm, of certainty, of expansion that you can experience is also what makes people want to work with you. It's what makes the journey worth it. So, in the end, sacrifice always leads to sabotage, and happiness leads to more success. So, that's what we're going to talk about today, and essentially talk about like how to increase that quality of receiving and what becomes possible when we increase that quality of receiving. But before I go into all of that, I'm going to take a minute to introduce myself, and how you can start working with me if that feels aligned for you. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Ilsa. Feel free to say hi to me, by the way. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, I will come back and I will definitely say hi and acknowledge you in return. Plus, it's good for the algorithm, so it'll help me get this in front of more eyeballs. Personally, I'm a total bookworm. I'm a spiritual nerd. I'm a dancer. I'm a dog lover. I love nature. And more or less, on my off time, you can see me doing one of those things. Professionally, for the past 20 years, I've worked as a psychotherapist, an expansion expert, a strategist for service based entrepreneurs and leaders. Essentially, I help my clients rewire their nervous system, their brains, their businesses, and create consistent results, growth, money, from a place of ease and joy, maybe even doubling, tripling, quadrupling their leadership and their receivership in the process. For me, all my work is focused based on both emotional freedom and financial freedom. Freedom for me is my highest value. And when you have the tools, the strategies, the identity, to create both of these types of freedom, the emotional and the financial, then from my perspective, you are really and truly free. So that's kind of the foundation of my work. Um, I'll go into more details at the end, but if you feel called to work with me and you want to do some deep rewiring and expansion work, there's two ways to get started. The first one is if you've been following me for a while, you know I'm your person, you know you're ready to dive deep, we can do a free 20-minute, 25-minute enrollment call. And basically, that's there for you and I to figure out what are your goals, what's in your way, and essentially which of my package is best suited for you, both in terms of your needs and what you want to accomplish, as well as your budget and your finances. And then the other, if you're newer to me and you want to actually get a sense of how I work and do this work with me, I offer a 90-minute intensive for 55% off, where we do some of this work and start to figure out what's holding you back in your nervous system. And I actually walk you through take you through my proprietary process, to come out of contraction and bring yourself back into regulation and expansion. And so you can click the link. There's the link to both of these things in the description of this training. Feel free to either book that call at 55% off. That's around $175. When you click the link, it's going to give you a bunch of details in there. Or if you're ready to get to work and you just want to dive in the deep end, then click the 20-minute call and let's have a brief conversation and get started. Okay. So success in many ways is not only owning our rights to feel good in our business, in our life, but it's also owning our responsibility to make that a priority. Most of us know that for success to be really true success, it has to feel good. But few of us actually see that as an actual responsibility that we have towards ourselves, towards our lives, for making that a focus on in our journey to accomplishing the future we want. And so because we don't claim and own that sense of responsibility, we on some unconscious level, continue to create and to foster, to feed an old paradigm of working hard for money, of sacrificing ourselves for success. And in the end, that only leads to a deregulated nervous system where we're feeling overwhelmed, we're freezing, we're exhausted, we're sabotaging our progress. It leads to a life and a business where we end up at the end almost wanting to escape from, even if we're lucky enough to actually be able to reach our goals and create the results we want. In the end, it's so unsatisfying that we just want to escape from it. Many of us as entrepreneurs approach reaching our goals and growing our business kind of like Sisyphus, like pushing a hard boulder up a mountain. Some of us are lucky enough that we reach the top, or what we defined as the top. But in the end, we're so damn exhausted that we can't even enjoy the win. We can't even celebrate it. We think that we're going to be happy when we reach the top. We will feel like we have arrived. But I've worked with a lot of outwardly extremely successful humans. And I'm here to tell you that people who approach running their business from pushing and pressure, essentially, from contraction, are rarely gratified in the end. So I know a lot of colleagues. I have quite a few clients who make amazing money, more money than I make by a long shot, and they're actually looking for a way out. They're drained, they're sick, their health is getting impacted, they don't know their kids, they feel like disconnected from their families, from what matters most. They're always busy. They're literally moving through their lives from one panic attack to the other. They're anxious, they're depressed, they're drained. And the success that they've created kind of feels like a prison. And so part of what I'm doing with this training today is twofold. One, if you are extremely successful and you've had quite a bit of success in your life, but it's kind of feeling stale, then I want to provide a new, different way of looking at this. I want to explain why it's feeling stale and what you need to do to shift this. The other piece here is that if you've actually feel like you've stalled, or like you haven't been able to create the degree of results of success that you know is possible for you, and you feel like you're working really hard for too small of an outcome, then I want to show you a different way. And I want to actually show you a different way and potentially explain why you're not where you want to be. And I want to show you a different way that's actually going to unlock you and unlock the results that you want to create. So here's something I want you to know if you're in the second category. Like maybe your income is plateaued, and no matter what you're doing, you're struggling to get to that next level of income growth, whatever. Maybe you've seen results, but the real results you've wanted are kind of always like out of reach, no matter how hard you work. Maybe you keep feeling like your energy keeps crashing and sabotaging your effort and your progress and your momentum. I want you to know that if one of those things is happening, it's not automatically bad news. I don't know if you can hear, my dog is snoring and dreaming. Eleanor, it's just a dream. Okay. So if you're plateaued, if you're working really hard, but you're not reaching the results you want, if you've noticed that your energy keeps crashing and you're kind of procrastinating, stalling, sabotaging your efforts, it's not automatically bad news. It means that you actually have a very responsive and engaged nervous system. You have an active somatic GPS. Somatic comes from the word soma, which means body, in the body. And literally, what's happening is that whenever you're trying to grow or create from the wrong way, from push, from pull, from falsehood, from a sense of lack and insufficiency, from a capacity that is too small, that is insufficient, from and with a sense of sacrifice, literally your nervous system will block your progress and your results. Because your nervous system is responsive, it's reactive, it is in alignment with the future that is destined for you. So that is the good news. The good news is you have something inside you that knows when something is out of alignment. And it's not that nothing's working. It's actually that life is providing you with a feedback mechanism to let you know when something is out of alignment. So the answer is not to try harder. The answer is actually, one, how do I increase my capacity? Because my capacity is insufficient. And two, how do I begin to feel more comfortable, normal, and nourishing with more? Like that's part of the capacity. And then finally, how do I find a more aligned way of doing it? So if you feel like there's a block, like you know you're destined for more, but nothing's flowing, there's a freeze either inside you or externally in your results, in the way things are working, then you have to focus on increasing your capacity. You have to focus on essentially normalizing more in your body, allowing more to feel nourishing. And then you have to focus on finding the most aligned way of doing it. And you know something is aligned because it feels good. It feels easeful. It feels simple. So I want you to assume that your struggles, whatever you sense as failures or setbacks, are actually an invitation. And the law of polarity that I like to use states that when a struggle arises, the solution automatically emerges along with it. So if you're having some kind of struggle getting to that next level, moving forward, creating the results you want, then it's an invitation to find a different path forward. By the way, I have an entire training on the law of polarity. So if you want it, just write polarity in the comments and I'll send you the direct link to it. So simplicity, safety, enjoyment needs to be here every step of the way, or you're essentially going in the wrong direction. And that struggle, that block is actually like your somatic GPS saying, make a U-turn, make a U-turn, make a U-turn. If success feels unsafe, if creating the results you want feels heavy, hard, something that's going to require a lot of sacrifice from you, if it feels like it's going to take a long time to get there, then your nervous system more than likely is going to contract. And when your nervous system contracts, it literally constricts the flow. When you're contracted, when the flow is constricted, that's when sabotage happens. That's when procrastination happens. That's when things externally start to fall apart and nothing's working. Essentially, your forward movement is blocked both internally and externally. Most of us are wired to think that feeling good is contingent on what happens out there. That if things go our way, then we will feel good. If things don't, then we feel like shit. But research actually shows that it's not actually what happens. Everyone is literally internally wired through your neurocircuitry, to your biochemistry, to your nervous system's level of contraction, liberation, expansion, like where you're at on that spectrum, everyone is actually wired for a certain level, for a certain set point, a set point of feeling good, a set point for ease, even a set point for success and the amount of money that you will allow yourself to receive and to create. And what research shows is that no matter how badly or good life goes, circumstance goes, we tend to always fall back to this built-in set point unless we really do the work from the inside out to rewire ourselves to increase that capacity, to increase that internal set point. So the way to actually be happier, the way to have more easeful success is to do that nervous system expansion work, is to do that brain training, is to shift your neurocircuitry and your biochemistry so that you can rewire not only your body, but your identity for more ease, for more joy, for more money, for more success, for more happiness, and essentially increase that set point so that what used to be your ceiling actually becomes your floor. And essentially that's like, if I had to take my work and talk about, like, they always say, what's like the one biggest result you can get people? Like, that would be it. Making what was your ceiling, both in terms of your energy, your capacity to receive, your leadership, your money, making what used to be your ceiling, your floor, your new floor. When you make feeling good your definition of success, rather than trying to create success to feel good, you restore the flow. And your nervous system starts to shift from saboteur to partner. Everything at that point starts to flow openly, both your internal flow in terms of energy, creativity, enthusiasm, the ability to take action and execute with consistency and with embodied power, and also your external flow, your ability to actually receive the results you want and hold them, the ability to see and create opportunities for yourself and actually to claim them. So that's what this work is about. It's about reestablishing, restoring the flow. Money, clients, results are a happy ripple of an expanded nervous system. Once your body is in resonance with what you want to achieve, then creating it out there and allowing yourself to receive it, to receive the results you want without resistance, without sabotage, without sacrificing what matters most to you, becomes not only possible, but it starts to actually happen with a lot more ease and a lot more speed. That's when you see people, everybody's talking out there. Actually, the people I follow talk about collapsing time. That's what collapsing time is. When you're in such degree of alignment, when your internal, your biochemistry, your brain, your nervous system is in absolute resonance, is a match, is primed and imprinted with what you want to create, then all that friction, all that resistance, like literally dissolves. And then you start to collapse time between where you are and where you want to be. So we think when this happens, I'll become this person. When I make $1 million, or when I'm making millions, I'll be a millionaire. When I meet my soulmate, I'll be happy and feel sexy and connected and loved. When I'm finally invited to speak on this big stage or to join these big summits or whatever, then I know that I will have gained the authority, the expertise that I desire, and I will be successful. When I finally get that promotion, or I'm able to finally sell my work for the amount of money I want to make, then I know that I'll have permission to show up as this assertive, confident human and to really lead powerfully. But it's actually the other way around. When you become a millionaire on the inside, when you claim that identity as a millionaire, when you recalibrate your nervous system, your neurocircuitry, your biochemistry to be in resonance with millions, that's when the millions, including the ways to get there with ease, starts to show up. When you rewire your nervous system to feel happy, sexy, connected, worthy of love, that's when you meet your soulmate. When your nervous system feels safe with success, feels safe being seen in that bigness at that higher level. When your nervous system feels safe claiming your authority, claiming that you are an expert and you know what you're talking about, that's when the big opportunities start to flow in, because how you see yourself is how other people see you. And so when you see yourself as an authority, others start to see you as such as well, and they want you on their stage. They want you in their summit. They want you talking to their group. When you reprogram your nervous system to feel safe and worthy, being in your power, leading from bigness, being anchored in confidence, that's when the promotion shows up. That's when you're actually able to sell at that higher level and have people buy without batting an eyelash. So it's always identity first, rewiring your nervous system, being the person who is in resonance with the results you want, and then the results show up. Outer results are a ripple of who you are being and what your nervous system is calibrated for. Always remember that you are the most powerful force in your life. This isn't just mindset or even belief work. This is true somatic rewiring deep in the body. So here's a question that I have for you that you can journal around. But if you look at what your current goal is, what are the results that you're trying to create in the next 6 months, in the next year, even in the next 3 years? What is it that you think they're going to give you? Who do you feel you will be when you've achieved that? For me, when I did that, and I really kind of like almost projected myself in that future, what the results I wanted were going to provide for me is this deep sense of inner confidence, a sense of absolute freedom and ease and joy. And so when I got clear on that, I want to feel that deep knowing, that sovereignty, that power, that confidence, and I want to experience these results will allow me to experience freedom and ease and joy. Then it got clear to me that these were the things I needed to prime now. So I started recalibrating my nervous system for that inner knowing and that power. I started to shift and prime my ways of thinking as well as the way I was feeling on the inside for that freedom, for that ease, for that joy now. When you do that, you literally shift the biochemistry of your body. And I made these qualities the compass in my business, in my identity, in how I was showing up. I made sure that they are with me, not were, they are with me internally and externally every step of the way. It's still who I try to be. Like it's still to this day, okay, do I feel small or do I feel powerful? Oh, I feel kind of small. All right, let's do some work. Do I feel free or do I feel constricted? Is there a sense of spaciousness here? Or is there a sense of tightness? Okay, let's do some work if I'm not anchored in spaciousness. Am I moving from a place of flow and ease? Or do I feel like everything's freaking hard right now? Okay, let's do some work with that. Am I feeling joyful? Am I feeling that sweetness that I want, that enjoyment? No, everything kind of feels not fun right now. Okay, let's do some work with that and let's bring some more fun, some more play in my work. For me, if what I'm doing does not feel easeful, if it doesn't feel spacious and joyful, if it doesn't make me feel deeply anchored in my own sovereignty, it's out of alignment, or I'm out of alignment. And then I do either some internal work to recalibrate my energy, to expand my nervous system, to shift my thinking and start to realign with a different paradigm in my brain, or I do the external work of tweaking my offer, my marketing strategy, the people I'm working with, whatever, my pricing, whatever I need to be in alignment. And whenever I make a wrong turn or I'm veering off of that alignment, I always know based on how I feel inside. I feel anxious, I feel drained, I feel tight and small and shy. Like, who am I to show up? Who am I to do this? Who am I to charge this? Like, based on how I feel inside, I know that my nervous system is contracted. I'm exhausted. It feels like I'm walking through mud. I'm procrastinating. I'm sabotaging. I'm hiding. That's how I know when I veered off of that alignment. And so, again, I see those setbacks, I see these contractions as an invitation, as a reminder. If you've watched my video, you've heard me say this 100 times. This is my favorite saying. Contraction is not the absence of expansion. Contraction is the request for expansion. Contraction is literally something wise inside you saying, hey, I need some support getting back in alignment. Hey, we're veering off our aligned path. So contraction is not the enemy. Contraction is actually the way back to expansion. And I guarantee you that whenever I'm out of alignment and I'm trying to achieve things from contraction, from lack, from scarcity, I never get the results or outcome I want. And even if I do, they tend to blow up in my face later. Like, it turns out wrong. Like, I say yes to the wrong clients, something happens, but then like it ends up being not nourishing at all. Like, something just happens. So whatever you think success, the results you want will provide you and will allow you to be, rewire yourself for that now. Calibrate your nervous system for it. Start to up-level your energy to it. Shift your biochemistry to essentially create the cocktails that are in alignment with that way of being. Let what you think you want and what you think it will provide be your compass, be your guide. And make those qualities, that way of being, the goal. Like an ongoing part of their journey rather than a future outcome. So you want to first figure out what are those qualities, what are those values that I think I will be able to experience, to feel, to be, to have internally. Once you have that, steep in them, anchor your identity in them, move and make decisions from them, and then they will become your reality. You have to move from the future you desire to create the future you desire. It's a little bit of a paradox. But essentially what you're doing is you're priming your nervous system for it. Like when you start to really anchor in those qualities, you start to create the future you desire now by being in alignment with it, now by moving from there now, you're basically already calibrating your nervous system for it, little by little. And that's why sometimes there's friction, because we're trying to be in ease, we're trying to be in trust, we're trying to be in freedom and move from there. So we're trying to be in a sense of abundance and confidence and move from there. And something in us saying, I don't feel that way. I'm not experiencing that. Where are you seeing that? And so that's where the works, that's where the tools are to help every part of us who feels small, who feels not enough, who feels wounded, who is stuck in past failures, to essentially start to regulate, start to feel supported, start to feel safe, so that we can come back into this place of liberation and expansion and start to allow these qualities that we desire to feel normal now. So give yourself permission to break all the rules, because once your nervous system, your brain, your biochemistry, your energetic calibrations are in resonance with what you want to create, then the process of creating it becomes seamless. Allow yourself to create a business model of life that honors you, that feels deeply safe, feels simple, feels super satisfying and nourishing to you in every way and every step of the way. Because when the quality of your experience feels like that, then all that sabotage, all those parts of you that say, I don't know, I don't want to be visible because visibility is going to attract criticism. I don't know, I don't want to make more money because more money means more responsibility and more headaches. I don't know, I don't want to bring in more clients because more clients means less free time and overwhelm and burnout. When you make these qualities the quality of your receiving, the foundation, then all of that friction, all that resistance, all those sabotaging patterns that block what you want to create start to dissolve. When you do that, you become successful in a way that is in absolute partnership with your nervous system. And it becomes the kind of success, the kind of results, the kind of growth that you can sustain long term and that you never want to escape from. When you do that, you enter into a new paradigm of business growth and wealth creation. In this new paradigm, money isn't just made or earned, it's actually received. In this new reality, there's no need to force anything because everything is created from and in flow. In this new way of being, more isn't created by pushing or through pressure. It's actually created from a place of peace and with pleasure. And in this new reality, rest, ease does not minimize or get in the way of productivity or creativity. On the contrary, it actually fuels it, it enhances it. So as you embrace this new paradigm of success and you make these qualities the foundation of your work, and you start to recalibrate yourself for them first, rather than trying to get to where you want to go so you can experience them, you start to embody that, and your business essentially becomes a deep source of safety, of nourishment, of fulfillment. When we make that sense of feeling good literally the path to success. Everything starts to shift from the opportunities that present themselves to who you attract, both in your business and in your personal life, like the quality of the people you attract, both like in terms of clients as well as partnerships, collaborators in business, but also in your personal life, in your love life, to the kind of thoughts and beliefs and rules that you entertain, to the kind of emotions that you feel and you cultivate, to how you show up, to the decisions you make, all the way to the outcome you create. Everything. Essentially, like you want to think of yourself, like how there's a drop of water and then there's all this, you are the drop. You are the drop. Everything ripples from you. How you feel inside here. So, earlier, the beginning of this training, I talked about how my work is really focused on emotional freedom and financial freedom, because when you have both, you actually have true freedom. It would have almost been better to say that emotional freedom leads to financial freedom. When you are the eye of the hurricane, when you are so anchored in the sense of safety, in the sense of belonging, in the sense of ease and joy and worthiness and deservingness and confidence and certainty and trust, when that is literally your biochemistry, your brain, your energy, your nervous system, everything is in resonance with that. You are the drop that creates the ripple. And so at first it comes like this out and then it comes back in. I'm sure you've heard me say this before. The seed always begets the fruit. So if the seed, the drop, is expansion, then the results you create are expansion. If the seed is contraction, if you're efforting, if you're sacrificing, if you're exhausted, if you're sabotaging, you're burned out, then it doesn't matter how hard you work, the fruits will feel contracted. So that's the big work. We completely transform and elevate our leadership and our receivership when we do this work. Your nervous system literally is the gateway to showing up powerfully, consistently, to creating, achieving, receiving, having more of everything you desire, and being able to do it, to create it in a way that feels really clear and in a way that truly lights you up and energizes you. This is the inner work that makes all the work you do finally work. And I would love to share it with you. So the first step, I gave it to you today, is to get a sense of what is the emotion, the quality, the internal quality that you need to cultivate now so that your nervous system essentially stops sabotaging your progress, so that your biochemistry, your neurocircuitry is in alignment with the results that you want. And then after that, a lot of the work that I do with clients is I have very specific tools to, one, make you a match for what you want, and to start to dissolve all the fears, all the worthiness issues, all the sense that you're not able, you're not capable, it's not safe for you to be this big, for you to have this much. And then I also have tools to help you keep your energy elevated, to remove all the stagnation that is in your body from past traumas, from past failures, from past wounds, to start to rewire the rules that you've created in your mind so that you can actually have a much easier and faster path to the results you want. And so if that's of interest to you, if you are ready to essentially revolutionize totally your way of being, your life, your business, your wealth, your leadership, as well as your receivership, then I would love to do some work with you. I would love to help you expand out of that sense of contraction and actually repair, recalibrate your nervous system, your brain, your identity, your energy level, so that you can actually achieve the goals you want and receive more with a lot more ease and enjoyment, and reduce all of that friction that creates that procrastination, that sabotage, that freezing, stalling, overwhelming self-doubt patterns that can show up in our process of growth. And there's two ways for us to get started with working. The first is that if you're ready to jump in, you know this is the work you need, you've been around the block, you've done all the strategy, you really want to do some of this nervous system work and brain retraining work, essentially. You know that I'm the person for you. You've been following me for a while, and you're looking to invest in a program that is going to have a lot of tools, a lot of one on one work, some support, and help you unlock yourself and unlock that next level. Then we can do a free enrollment call. And that's going to be 20 minutes to half an hour, where we're going to figure out exactly where you're at, where you want to be, what your budget is, what the issues are, and we're going to decide on which of my packages is best for you. Working with me ranges from $1,200 to essentially like a 4.5 hour intensive, all the way to $10,000 for ongoing, long-term, high-touch support. All my package include both one-on-one work, strategy work, as well as practices, numerous practices for you to rewire yourself and never stay stuck when you hit a bump on the road. And the entire aim is that thing: emotional freedom and financial freedom. How to anchor your identity in expansion safely and continue to elevate your expansion from this place of deep regulation and liberation. So to book this call, there's a link in the comments, not in the comments, in the description. Just click the link, go book the call. And again, this is for you if you're ready to get started and you know I'm the person for you. If you're not quite ready to commit to working together, you're not sure I'm for you because maybe you're newer to me, then I also offer a 90-minute one-on-one intensive at 55% off for people who are new to me. During this intensive, we're going to deep dive into what's going on with you. What are the external results that you're creating or not creating? We're going to discover your unique nervous system wounds and blocks that are limiting your growth, limiting your leadership, your receivership. And I'm going to take you through my proprietary process to come out of that sense of contraction and to start to anchor yourself back into regulation, liberation, and expansion. The price for that 90-minute with the 55% discount is $175. It also comes with a worksheet where you have all the steps written down so that you can kind of look at it later if you want, or use it to walk yourself through the process as well. And then at the end of that 90-minute, if you want to continue to do some work, then I will take 10 minutes to take you through the different packages and set you up to continue working together. So I would love to help you unlock that potential that's kind of almost kept bound inside you through the contractions that are in your body. And I would love to help you create easeful, fast results in a way that are going to truly nourish both like you, your soul, your heart, and also your business and your bank account. And if that feels like something you want to do, then just click one of those links in the description and let's get started. All right, that's what I have for you. I'm out of town next week, traveling, including I'm going to be in a place where there's no internet for quite a bit of time. So more than likely, there will not be any training. I'll be a little bit off grid next week, but then I'll be back the week after, and it'll be the beginning of June. So I will do probably my nervous system and energy frequency forecast for the months of June. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week and weekend and rest of May. And I'll see you in a couple weeks.